Hey, yo, Chicago, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? How y'all feeling today, Chicago? You already know it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. I told y'all in the live before, y'all was going to be seeing a lot of me. Get used to it. Here we are live yet again. 2 lives in the same day. 2 live crew, Pat the Designer, Patty 2 Live, whatever you want to call it. Let's get it busting. NFL season is here, and as you can tell, I'm hype right now. So first things first, by the way, before we get too deep into this, please like the video, please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. We don't want you to miss a thing, so make sure that you hit that bell. Also, get in tune with this Breeze merch. Verdun. We here for the season. Windy City talking Chicago sports. How Chicago talk, because y'all know this is the only Chicago sports show that talks Chicago sports. How Chicago talk, man. So y'all get in tune with us. Y'all check out we got the hats. We got the dad hats for you. We got the hoodies. We got the t-shirts. We got the crew necks, whatever you want. Get in tune with that. Yes, this is live, Jeffrey. You did make it. Shout out to Marcus Couch in the building. It's NFL time. It's NFL time. The season is upon us. Game 1 is tonight. Get your fantasy lineup set up. By the way, speaking of fantasy, if you guys, let me get this out of the way real quick so that we can get into the important stuff. If you guys, well, I mean, this is important to me. If you guys have not done so already, make sure that you sign up for our FanDuel. Question for you, are you like us, Bears fans who know that if given the chance, they could run a successful franchise? Well, we've teamed up with FanDuel to give you the opportunity to put your GM skills to the test. With FanDuel being the premier sports gaming destination in the United States, we realize that this is the perfect way to not only team up with the Breeze Nation, you guys, for a fantasy fun, but also a way to allow you the opportunity to win some cash money in your pocket, cash prizes. We will be doing our contest Windy City Weekly that allows you to win real cash prizes and compete against me and the crew. It's simple. You pick your team while staying under the given salary cap, and if you pick the best team, you win. First place winner gets $100 this week. Then it'll be tiered out with the top 25 at least getting their entry fee back. The contest will include all of Sunday's 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. slate games. The contest will lock at kickoff of the first game. To enter, go to fanduel.com/Windy City Weekly or click the link in the description below. If you click the links in the description below, to get you there much easier. Make sure that when you sign up, you do use our link because this is a paid promotion, a paid brand deal that helps us be here with you more often, which is always a good thing. So let's get them likes up. Let's make this happen. It's football season. I am here to give you the final schedule prediction now with everything we know. The final schedule prediction with everything we know now. The Bears are still dealing with some injuries. The Bears are still dealing with, shout out Baki. What's good, Baki? Baki and alive. We got Arizona in the chat. He say, I'm in the AZ, but a lifelong Bear fan. Shout out to you, my boy. The Bears still dealing with some issues. Marcus Couch not confident early. He's saying 6-10. So I want to go through game by game and not only give my input, but also hear what you guys are thinking. We don't got to be on here long. Mike Nice, shout out to you, bro. We don't got to be here long, but we got to get it done. Because now we know everything, right? Now we know, for the most part, what we're going into the season with. That's what the important thing is. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Game 1, Sunday night, 7:20 p.m. on NBC. The Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Rams. That's a tough game. That's tough to start it off, man. That defense it's lost a couple pieces, but I mean, it's still got some big names on that defense. I mean, especially with an offense that's coming in that you're trying to figure out the stability of it. You know what I'm saying? We said it in the live last night. What is our offensive scheme even? But I'm going to be honest with you. That first game is a game where a lot of crazy things can happen. It's a game where a lot of crazy things can happen. It's a game where the Chicago Bears can come out and surprise a lot of people, especially when you see, you know, how vanilla that defense is in the preseason. You know, you don't know what to expect when they come out. I'm giving the Bears a win week 1 versus Los Angeles. Even with all of the defenses, even with all of the deficiencies, I think that the Bears come out and they surprise the world in Los Angeles on Sunday Night Football. Now, listen, that's just a gut feeling on my part. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have anything technical to back that up or break that down with. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. And to speak to the other side of it, and I'm seeing a lot of L's in the chat. To speak to the other side of it, Bears on primetime football under Matt Nagy have not done well. So I could absolutely see this being an L. But I'm the game 1, the first game is usually when a lot of the surprises happen, is usually when a lot of the upsets happen. I mean, I think with Jacksonville last year, what was it, week 1 or week 2, something like that? Real early in the season, got their 1 win. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what kind of, because teams aren't prepared. Teams are still coming out. Teams are still trying to get into the speed of the game, especially a lot of those starters. I mean, listen, as much as we can say, you know, Matt Stafford knows that defense, the defense also knows Matt Stafford, also knows Matt Stafford's tendencies. Shout out to you, Tanner, with the super chat. Tanner coming through with the super chat off rip. What up, bro? How you feeling, my guy? Oh, yeah, I started this wrong, didn't I? We ain't get no Bear Dons in the chat. Let me get them Bear Dons in the chat. I got the Bears starting off 1-0. Week 2 versus Cincinnati. Now, here's the thing. Cincinnati, to me, has the flashy name. Cincinnati, to me, of course, with Joe Burrow, has the opportunity to take a real step this season. Cincinnati could absolutely be a real surprise team this year. That's all going to be based on that offensive line. You're talking about a team last year that 215 passing yards a game, which was low in the league offensively. Rushing yards, 104 a game, which is 24th in the league offensively. They would allow 19 points a game, or they would score 19 points a game and allow 26 points a game. There's a lot of opportunity in that game for the Bears to absolutely come out with a win. But I think that the question in Cincinnati there is, does that O-line take another step? Because that's a game where I'll tell you this, early on, if you want to see this Bears defense get rolling, that's a game early on where, hey, that offensive line is there to be picked apart. That offensive line is there to be picked apart. Baki says that's a W. What do you think, chat? Baki says that's a W. Zachary, absolutely. Cincinnati's O-line. So I'm going to be real with you. I've got the Bears starting off their season 2-0. I've got the Bears starting off this season 2-0. I think that they surprise a lot of people and win a hard-fought game in LA. And I think that they're able to win in Cincinnati based on the Cincinnati offensive line if they're able to take a step. Let me tell you this. If Cincinnati's offensive line takes a step, Joe Burrow's absolutely good enough, and I'm assuming he's coming back fully healthy. Joe Burrow's absolutely good enough to pick us apart. Let's not get it twisted. He's absolutely good enough to pick us apart. But I think that the Bears started this thing off 2-0. Now, week 3 versus the Cleveland Browns, that's where it gets ugly. That's where it gets ugly. And I'm going to be real with you. Week 3 is a game that I might end up going to be in the building. Trying to figure out if we can get a trip down there, trying to see kind of what's gonna happen there. Might be live for that one down in Cincinnati or down in Cleveland. I'm sorry, but it's gonna get ugly. I mean, we're talking about a Browns defense that already had Myles Garrett. We're talking about a Browns defense that already was pretty dominant. And guess what? They got better. They got better, and especially with a Bears offense that, listen, I said that the Bears would be able to go in there and beat Cincinnati. I didn't say that they were going to go out there and destroy Cincinnati. You know what I'm saying? I still don't have a ton of confidence in the Chicago Bears offense. But I think that Cincinnati's got an opportunity to get beat for sure. But I think against Cleveland, against that tough defense, who, by the way, added Jadeveon Clowney to that tough defense. Yeah, I think that's an L on the Bears' part. I think that one gets ugly. I think that one gets ugly real quick, and I'm hoping to be in the building for it. We'll see. To me, I've got us starting off 2-1 with a surprise upset win week 1. Not bad through the first 3. Here's 4, though. And I'll tell you this right now. Nothing about Detroit scares me. Detroit's the number 1 prove-it team. By the way, I'm going through this schedule with the idea in mind based off what Matt Nagy has told us that Andy Dalton is our starter. But through 4 games, I'm not worried in the slightest about the Detroit Lions. I'm not worried in the slightest about the Detroit Lions. I've got so much smoke for Detroit that they can pull up. What are you bringing me? What? Jared Goff? Jared Goff? Are you talking about Pretty Mitch? Just Pretty Mitch Trubisky? That's what you're sending to me? Yeah, we're not worried about that. Skip right over the Lions. So I've got, listen, like the video if you agree, like the video if you disagree, but just tell me why you disagree. I've got the Bears starting off the first quarter. It's not really quarters anymore, but the first quarter of the season 3-1. Is that overconfident on my part? Is that a little overzealous? Yeah, maybe. But I really think that the Bears will be able to upset the Los Angeles Rams. I think Cincinnati is a given. And at worst, you lose to the Rams. And you're 2-2, in my opinion. You beat Cincinnati, you beat Detroit. I think we sweep Detroit 100%. You're 2-2. As Bears fans, listen, let me know if you come out of this thing 2-2. At the end of the first quarter, I know there's 17 games, but I'm still in that old way of thinking. If you come out of the first quarter of the season 2-2, I think we'd be pretty happy going into the next set of games, which absolutely continues to get tougher. I mean, honestly, if you look at it, that's probably our easiest stretch of games right there. The first 4. The first 4 is probably our easiest stretch of games right there. Bill said, "I'll give you $100 if we start 3-1." Hey, Leo, listen. Hey, yo, listen. Send the Cash App. The Cash App is here. By the way, I gotta make a card for that. Gotta make a card for the Cash App. There it is, right there. Bow. Bow. If y'all want to support your boy, we appreciate the love. Now, week 5 versus the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are a very beatable team, but I've watched the Bears under Matt Nagy really struggle against the Raiders. They're a very beatable team. A very beatable team. Derek Carr's nice, not great. They've got some pretty good weapons down there, but I mean, I would put them similar to where the Bears are. Now, here's the thing, though. They can put up points. They can put up points. Last season, 27 points for. They gave up 29 points against, but we're talking about the Bears offense here. Unless we see a massive step from this Chicago Bears offense, we're talking about the Bears offense here. And so to me, this is an L. Going up against Vegas, this is an L. We're talking about a team that's going to, in my opinion, you're starting the second half off of the season with an L because it's a team that versus better competition looks poor. But against what it seems like we're going to field, I can absolutely see us losing that game. I could absolutely see us losing that game. And you hate to say it, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you hate to say anytime, like, listen, I don't see us coming out of that. But we watched the Bears. We watched the Bears versus the Raiders in London. Now, granted, London is a little bit different. London has a little bit different caveat attached to it. But we watched the Bears. Arizona says, we lose to the Raiders but beat the Rams? Man, hey, listen. I said that we beat the Raiders because we catch the Raiders off guard. Or I'm sorry, we beat the Rams because we catch the Rams off guard early in the season. Hey, let's go get it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when we're talking about the Rams, we're talking about a team that could be representing the NFC in the Super Bowl with a better quarterback. What have the Rams been missing the last few years? Just a better quarterback. I'm not taking anything away from the Rams. What I'm taking away with shout out Marcus Couch. He said heavy beer in London. We were slowed up. What I'm taking away is that it's going to be early. It's going to be early. Teams are going to have 4 or 5 weeks to look at the Bears and what they've done. I can absolutely see us losing to the Raiders. This is where it gets ugly. This is where it gets ugly, ladies and gentlemen. First week versus the Packers in Soldier Field. You know what? I'm going to pick a dub. I'm going to go with them. I'm going to go with them at home. I think the Bears split with the Packers this season. I'm going to go with them at home. I'm going to go with them at home. If you're going to win anywhere. Now, here's the tough part, right? The Bears have been a better road team with Matt Nagy than they have at home. The Bears have been a better road team with Matt Nagy than they have at home. They have defended the home turf terrible. But I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm going to say that this is the season where they get the cojones up to defend Soldier Field. The Soldiers Field. And I say that the Bears get back to 500 versus the Green Bay Packers, and we're sitting at 3-3 through 6. Baki says we're 4-2 at this point. Delta says, literally, there can't be a wrong opinion because there's so much variables like injuries. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I've got the Bears. I mean, listen, if we get through 6 games, and I'm not saying that it's great, but if we get through 6 games and Andy Dalton has led us to 3-3, I'm not upset. Would I like to see better? 100%. But I'm not upset. I'd love to see 4-2. I'd love to see them sneak one of those other games out. Maybe they get the Raiders game. But like Spud, hey Spud, you're not wrong. This is optimistic because we're talking about offense. We're talking about our offense. I think that the Bears are good, have a good enough offense to get the Packers at home. But I don't know if they can beat Aaron Rodgers twice. That I don't know. I don't know if they can beat Aaron Rodgers twice. Now we go down to Tampa. At Tampa, Super Bowl champion Tom Brady. And I'm going to tell you what. I'm picking the Bears again. I'm picking the Bears over Tampa again. You want to know why? Because Tom Brady, when he has pressure around him, is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. Look it up. Tom Brady goes from literally one of the best all-time quarterbacks in the world to, if you're able to get to him, and we saw this in that Bears game last season with Nick Foles, to if you're able to get to him, Tom Brady struggles mightily. He becomes not only one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL, but one of the worst quarterbacks in NFL history. In NFL history. Not a lot of confidence in that pick. That might be the go out on the limb pick right there for me. A lot of people, I thought it would have been the Rams for a lot of people. A lot of people tweaking on me on that one. So at this point, I got the Bears 4-3. 4-3 through 7 games. You got San Francisco coming to town. You got more than likely Trey Lance coming to town at this point. A rookie quarterback versus the Bears defense that I'm hoping that we see a better offensive line. Or defensive line, I'm sorry. If this defensive line gets back to being dangerous as it was, where we're talking about, I mean, Eddie Goldman having some issues right now, but if this defensive line is able to get back to being dangerous on a consistent basis, I could see this. I could see this being a win versus Trey Lance. I can see it being a win versus Jimmy Garoppolo. The problem is that defensive line going to come back to what it was? And listen, San Francisco don't come in as no scrubs. You know what I'm saying? They're not coming in as scrubs. Middle of the pack offense. But they keep the points against down. 24 points against. They keep the points against down. And again, everything we're talking about for last season, when I'm talking about points against, when I'm talking about how it's lined up, where the Bears like, you have to think of it in terms of the Bears offense. So 24 points against for us is probably 14 points. You know what I'm saying? Now I need this offense to prove me wrong. I need this. Hey, look, what is the one thing that I don't know if you guys are on Twitter, but they got the meme of Dexter sitting at his locker looking at whatever the player is. Hey, that player's Andy Dalton right now. Stun on these hoes. But can he do it? Can he do it? Or at that point is Justin Fields in the game? Which, listen, if I'm basing this off Andy Dalton, if Justin Fields is in, this could be a whole new set of things. A lot more of these could be losses. I'm not one of those fans that thinks just because you plug in Justin Fields, the Bears are going to go out and win with everything. Jeffrey Tevin was placed on the PUP. That's the last thing we heard about it. So he'll be out minimum 6 weeks. Jeffrey, I love how Bears, especially Bears fans, sorry, fake Bears fans, you all are saying we will win 5. This team is better than the last 2 years, and we won 8 and made the playoffs 2 of 3 years. I will say this. I don't think that we're going to win 5 games. We won 8 with Mitch. We won 8 with Mitch and Nick. I don't think we're going to win 5 games. I just don't. I don't see that. I do think. I mean, listen. Until proven wrong, this is a playoff team. It was a playoff team last year, and listen. A lot of what we're saying on the teams against us is based off what we saw last year. So what I saw last year from the Bears, was it pretty? No. Is it because they had the extra team in there? Absolutely. But guess what? That's what we got. That's what we're moving forward with. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I'm going with a dub. Is this Bears optimism at this point? Maybe, but I'm gonna go with a dub against San Francisco because I think that San Francisco is an extremely that defense. Wait, hold on. Let me see. October 31st here. Yeah, it's still gonna be warm enough. Yeah, I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with an L. I'm gonna go with an L. So I got the Bears 5-4 at that point, right? Win, loss, win, loss, win. That's 3-1. Loss 3-2. Green Bay 4-2. Wait, I missed somebody. That's 4. 2-2. Lost versus Vegas. 2-3. Okay, that's where I messed up. 3-3 versus Green Bay. 4-3 versus Tampa Bay. 4-4 versus San Francisco. Yeah. 4-4 versus San Francisco. Field and Lance would be a dope game to see there. And now the Pittsburgh Steelers. The steel curtain is struggling. The steel curtain is old. Big Ben's still nice. I think Big Ben's still going to have a pretty good season. I think that Chase Claypool is a monster. I think that Juju Smith-Schuster now gets to be the number 2 that he needs to be anyway. Once again, with Chase Claypool over there. There's going to be based on that offensive line again. And listen, it's going to be based on our defensive line. Can Matt get home? How much of this season is going to be based on can Matt get home? Can Robert Quinn get home? Can Eddie Jackson, well, can he tackle? But is he going to improve his game? Because this is the game where picks are going to come. This is the game where if the defensive line is there, Big Ben doesn't got that kind of cannon anymore. This is the game, and maybe the Tampa game, where we're going to see our defense shine at its most. Now, Baki brings up a good point here. TJ Watt's a dominant beat. TJ Watt honestly gets disrespected because Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack are in the league. He's always kind of left on the outside looking in, but he's in. He's absolutely in. But I do got a dub here. I do got a dub versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a team that we've played really well. It's a team that even at our worst, we've played kind of well. And so I can see the Bears winning versus Pittsburgh. It's in Pittsburgh, too. I can see the Bears winning that game. So I'm going to go dub there. So that puts us at, 5-4 at this point in the season. And now you get to the bye week. And now here's the part that sucks, right? 5-4, you get a bye week. I don't trust Matt Nagy after the bye. I don't know what he does when he goes into the bye. But I have zero trust for Matt Nagy after the bye. I don't know what scheme he plans out. I don't know what he puts together. But I'm going to tell you this. Even with all the injuries that Baltimore is going through, which, by the way, what is happening down there? What is happening down there? Even with all the injuries that Baltimore is going through, I could absolutely see a game where a Le'Veon Bell or where whoever the running back is at that point eats us up. Because after the bye, the Bears are at their worst. So I'm picking Baltimore out of the bye. Bears got to prove me wrong with that. I'm picking Baltimore out of the bye. And Baltimore is not a team that I think is unbeatable. Baltimore is not a team that I think the Bears couldn't beat. It's just I don't trust Matt Nagy after the bye in the slightest. Has he won a bye since he's been here? Has he won a game after the bye? For Red said we got to contain Lamar Jackson. Hey, dog, whenever somebody figures it out, you send that to the Bears and the rest of the NFL because nobody's figured out how to contain Lamar Jackson. Oh, and by the way, Julio Jones there too, right? Is that there or is that Tennessee? Am I tweaking on that? Where's Julio at? Is Julio in Tennessee? Julio Jones is on Tennessee. I tweaked. That's on me. I don't know why I thought he went to Baltimore. I don't know why I thought he went to Baltimore. He on Tennessee. That's right. But I listen, that's 100% after the bye. 5-5 right now to me. 5-5 right now. Detroit, week 6. Or I'm sorry, week 6. Detroit is week 12 there. Send Pretty Mitch back to Detroit. And it's in Detroit. Hey, Pretty Mitch, you got to leave, bro. Get up out of here. That's Pretty Mitch. Get up out of here. That's a dub. 6-5. Dog, this is pissing me off. I'm doing the schedule right now and I'm getting irritated because I'm like, dog, I really don't see a stretch of games where we really going to run. I don't see a stretch of games where we're going to run. Because guess what? The next week, week 13, versus Arizona in Soldier Field. Depends on, I'll tell you this one. I don't think bear weather's a thing. Unless it's a West Coast team that actually comes in and is not used to playing in that weather in the slightest. With a decent Bears team. The problem is most of the teams that we're like, bear weather, it's Patriots, Green Bay. Like, bear weather's not really a thing until you see something like that. But with Arizona coming in, I mean, we saw the effect that LA had coming in here when everybody thought LA was just going to dog walk us, and then it was a blizzard. It depends on the weather there. Right now, since we've had a pretty mild Decembers the last few years, which is wild to say, right? Right now, I'm going to say Arizona probably gets the dub. But to me, that's depending on the weather. In this situation, just because it's a West Coast team that does not play in the elements. So in this situation, I will say the weather absolutely plays into it a little bit. If it's snowing, if it's a blizzard, I got the Bears with a dub. Here's kind of a toss-up. I'm going to say an L just based off the fact that we've kind of had pretty mild Decembers. So let's say right now I got the Bears 13 weeks in at, 5-6? Right? Hold on. Hold on. Let me get it right here. 1-0. I should have been writing this down the whole time like a professional, but 1, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2. Oh, okay. Maybe I got the Bears doing a little better than I thought I did. Let me recount. 1-0, 2-0, 2-1 versus Cleveland, 3-1 with Detroit, 3-2 with Vegas. How I keep skipping Vegas? 4-2 with Vegas or with Green Bay, 5-2 versus Tampa Bay, 5-3 versus San Francisco, 6-3 versus Pittsburgh. Maybe I'm not as depressed as I thought, dog. 6-4 versus Baltimore. Hey, yo, Spud, I'm trying to see what I'm smoking too, bro. I did have us beating Green Bay. I did have us beating Tampa. I did have us beating San Fran. No, I had us losing to San Fran. That's where it is. Okay. And through 9, I did have us beating Pittsburgh. So that's 6-3. Might have to rethink this a little bit. Just a little bit. But we're going to keep going. Versus Baltimore, I got an L. Detroit, I got a dub. Arizona, I got an L. Green Bay again is another L. Now we get into Minnesota. Minnesota's a dub again. Minnesota's a team that, I'm sorry, I'm not worried about Kirk Cousins in the slightest. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that we sweep Minnesota. That's going to be based on the health of Akeem Hicks, 100%. But I think that we sweep Minnesota. I think Minnesota's a team that struggles when Kirk Cousins has to be the reason that they win. I think that Minnesota's a team that struggles when Kirk Cousins has to be the reason that they do anything. Kirk Cousins is an excellent fantasy quarterback, but other than that, the Bears are set up to beat him. I got the Bears losing versus Seattle. At Seattle, that's not going to end well. That's not going to end well. And I'll tell you this. Now, New York coming here, bear weather plays no effect in this at this point. New York is a very beatable team. 100% because they have quarterback issues. But as I've looked at New York because Ringo's on the show, they're a better team than you would give them credit for. They are moving in a better direction than I would have given them credit for. And then we got Minnesota again. At Minnesota to finish the season. I got the Bears beating them. Don't worry about it. I got the Bears beating the Giants. But at Minnesota, I can see the Bears winning that too. I can 100% see the Bears winning that too. And so let me go through it real quick. Run through it one more time. I got the Bears 1-0 versus Los Angeles. I got the Bears 2-0 starting the season against Cincinnati. I got the Bears 2-1 losing to Cleveland week 3. I got us winning again 3-1 beating Detroit, starting off the first 4 3-1. Then versus the Raiders, we come in 3-2. Now we got Green Bay coming to town. I can see the Bears winning at home versus the Packers. Actually, I more so see them winning on the road, but I'm going to pick them to win at home this time. I think we split with the Packers this way. It doesn't matter either way. That puts the Bears at 4-2. Lost to Cleveland, lost to Vegas. Going down to Tampa, I got the Bears again. I think that the Bears, if they get pressure on Tom Brady, can be better. 5-2. I think I'm surprising myself with what I have the Bears doing. I do have them losing against San Francisco, making us 5-3. Pittsburgh's a toss-up for me. Pittsburgh's absolutely a toss-up for me. I'm still on the fence with that one. I can see the Bears winning that game. We've done very well versus Pittsburgh. 6-3. Listen, I'm surprising myself as I'm going through this. I'm really looking at this live. Like y'all are getting to enjoy this with me. I'm looking at this live as I'm going through the schedule. I know people say there's not a lot of wins that I see. And now listen, the Packers game could absolutely have us at 5-4. I can see the Bears losing that one. The Tampa Bay game could absolutely have us at 4-5. But to me, I think the Bears split with the Packers, and I think that Tampa Bay is a team that's beatable if you get pressure on Brady. So listen, hey, I guess I said it. 6-3 going into the bye through 9 games. Bye week, you come out of the bye week with an L, 6-4. Matt Nagy's terrible out of the bye. Detroit, 7-4. I'm never picking the Bears to lose to Detroit. 7-4. Arizona to me is an L. You're 7-5 after Arizona. Green Bay to me in Green Bay is an L. You're 7-6 coming out of Green Bay. You got Minnesota then, 8-6. 8-6 because Minnesota's Minnesota. Kirk Cousins, you don't scare me. Delvin Cook run it into Akeem Hicks. Let's see how that works out for you. 8-7 versus Seattle. Okay, now the schedule's kind of getting back to where I think it's at. 8-7 versus Seattle. Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf. I don't see a lot of teams that are going to be better than that. I can see Seattle going 13-4 this season. Honestly, I can see Seattle going 13-4 this season. So 8-7, 9-7 versus New York, and we finished the season 10-7 versus Minnesota. I 110% am doubling down on that. Minnesota and Detroit. I think the only team in the NFC North the Bears split is the Packers. Now let me ask y'all this, chat. Talk to me. Talk to me. Is that enough to get it done? Is that enough to get you back in the playoffs? In an NFC that's loaded. Is 10-7 gonna be enough to get you to the playoffs? Baki said, just like I said. No, I agree with you, Baki. Hey, listen, I just scared myself because them early games, I got the Bears winning a lot of them. Spud says, I just can't trust that O-line to get us 10 wins. That's absolutely a factor. It's a major factor. That O-line is going to be the dictating force behind what the Bears are able to do. Hold up, we roasting? Hold up, what we got here? He said, bro, why you look like you eat muffins with the wrapper on? My guy, what we got? Alex Sepulveda. Come on, bro. You sound like you wrestle bear cubs in a strange forest. Come on, bro. Let's not do this, dog. Let's not do this. I have no picture of you, and I'll still be able to get bars out of you. Come on, bro. You look like you tell children scary stories just to get them to. I had nothing for that one. I ran out. I'm sorry. I had nothing for that one. Dark Souls. Do y'all think losing this? I'm assuming Cincinnati ends our season. Week 2? I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what you mean by that. So I got the Bears finishing 10-7. Oh, we got Raider Nation in the building. The Raiders. I got y'all winning this year, bro. I got y'all beating the Bears this year, no lie. Torian, good question here. What happens if we lose 6 in a row again? If we lose 6 in a row again, Justin Fields more than likely is getting in. If we lose to the Bengals, I will not be so optimistic for the rest of the season. I'm not. You know what? It's a lot of things early. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of nuance and there's a lot of what's it called? There's a lot that goes into an early part of the season, especially week 1 and week 2. You know what I'm saying? That it makes a difference. It makes a difference when you go out. Like I can't base anything off of the Bears week 1 and week 2 because we've seen the Bears be really good week 1, win week 2, and then struggle. You know what I'm saying? Alex said, what'd you say? He said, bro, my homies are dead. Didn't think you were gonna see that. Hey, dog, listen. We talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talk, dog. You can see me, I can't see you. All I can make fun of is your last name, bro. And I got a tough last name too, so I'm gonna see it. I'm a peep game. Baki says, forget 6. We lose 3 games in a row. Justin Fields needs to be in the game. That's not bad. If we lose 3 games in a row, depends how we lose, though. You know what I'm saying? To me, it really depends on how the Bears go out and how the Bears lose in that situation. Because to me, if we go out and we lose 3 games in a row, you know what I'm saying? Is it 3 games in a row, but we lose, Vegas, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, but maybe we look good going down swinging like that? Like everybody said all day, there's a lot of nuance that goes into what is the outcome, what determines Justin Fields getting in there, what determines how we feel about the Bears this season. A lot of nuance that goes into it, but If you lose 3 games in a row and you go down swinging, maybe not. But if you lose 3 games in a row and you get dog walked, then yeah, I can see Justin coming in that situation. Mooney's gonna ball out if the O line is average. I mean, Mooney's a guy that can get it off a short pass and turn it into something. Darnell's gonna be. I need Darnell to prove to me he's not Anthony Miller. How many guys have we seen that Ryan Pace has gotten to have the amazing rookie year, and then they have the mad rookie year? You know what I'm saying? Or they have the mad second year. Like that. That's the part. That's the part that kind of gets me. That makes me like, we'll see. But yeah, man, I got the Bears finishing the season 10-7. Crazy, right? I'm just as surprised as you because I just kind of went through this for the last time myself. That is my final prediction for the season. Now we'll see where the season goes. Hopefully I'm right. Hopefully I'm wrong and it's better than 10-7. But you know what I'm saying? Listen, if you guys have not done so, check out the FanDuel a link in the description below so that you can jump into the fantasy league with us. Make sure you sign up with our link because it does put a little bit of bread in your boy pocket. If you haven't done so, man, like the video, subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. Hey, yo, Bear Don to all the Bears fans out there. The NFL season is back. Let's have some fun, y'all. Let's have some fun. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Peace.